Big shot there from Billy Joel and John Anderson. It's so funny. You're funny, John. You walk. Nobody tells me you're here. You just come walking right in and say, "Is this the place?"
Is this the place to come?
This is the place. John Anderson's with us at Q. We'll.
Hello.
How you doing?
People out there, isn't there, listening to this?
Yeah.
Couple.
They're listening right now.
Hello out there, Philadelphia. Surrounding areas.
We'll play a couple of commercials and we'll talk with John.
You're into a very cool afternoon, aren't you?
No. You want to? What do you want to do? You want to rock and roll here?
No, I'm just going to go now. Just to say hello.
That was it? No, that wasn't it. We'll talk in just a moment. Okay, we've had a look at the oldies now, and we have John Anderson. Hello.
Thank you. You mentioned I'm an oldie.
No. We were looking at some oldies records.
And then you said, no, you just said, we were looking at some oldies, and here's John Anderson. Thank you very much.
Well, John, you and I have both been around for a while. You know, we've been doing this.
Couple of years.
We've been doing this. In fact, you know, it's we're about 2 weeks shy of the 8 years that I met you. As a matter of fact, it was July 7th, 1971, and you were coming to do a gig. Let me make this mic here. You were coming to do a gig at WIOQ Convention Hall, the first American tour, and in fact, see that newspaper article on the wall?
Yeah, you came backstage and we threw you out.
That's right.
We're still trying to throw you out. He's still trying to get backstage, folks.
And I didn't even watch Jethro Tull that night. We went out and had some. Those were
they were good. They are a good band.
But that was you opened for them on the first.
That's true. Yeah.
First American tour. Did you get along with them well?
Yeah, we found that they'd done a couple of American tours before,
right.
And it was good to see a band of their stature, if you like, performing, because it gave us a kind of guideline as to how to work with an audience, and to watch Ian work has always been a strong kind of professional attitude from him, and it was good to watch every night. I'd see him almost every night for the first couple of numbers and check out how he could move the audience and so. Not that I started to do what he did, but I realized that you've got to get up there and do a good performance almost every night every night.
Yeah, we used to talk about how you sort of felt a little bit uneasy or just sort of weird up on stage at the beginning when you didn't feel you had anything to do but just sort of sing and wait.
That's true.
And now I
was shy, basically.
But you've sort of overcome that now. Huh?
Yeah, I've got over that now. It's taken a while.
Yeah.
Now I'm into the kind of, I jump around like a loony.
I was thinking last night, how come you don't get dizzy? Because I know that the stage is moving very slowly, but you move much quicker than the stage. You keep turning. I don't know if you're aware of it, but you keep. I guess you are.
I don't know what I do half the time up there.
You keep turning around so that the audience. I mean, watching you, one never gets the feeling that you're looking at your back. That we're looking at your back a part of the time, because you keep it going around, and we're always seeing enough of you that there's always a feeling that no matter where you are in the hall, that we're seeing your face all the time, which is amazing.
Well, I think that Steve and Chris and Alan and Rick have got their situation solid. I'm right in the middle, and maybe I don't know which way to turn. But I don't really think about it. I think when I was put on this round stage, that I automatically got into a way of working which was new to me. So in a way, I had no guidelines. Like when I go and see a performer on a straight stage, a la Bowie or
anybody,
Dylan or whoever, I always thought, hey, they're great. And sometimes I'd go up there and feel a little bit strange because I'd seen so many good artists. But because I've got my own little thing going in this center stage, I have no guidelines from any other performer. So I just naturally jump around like a lunatic. And have a good time, really.
We're talking about the fact that Yes, of course, is in the round, and it's the first time that I can remember any rock band doing something in the round since the very early days of rock and roll. I think Cream once did a show in the round where but it wasn't the same thing because they sat there facing one direction, the amps were behind them, and they turned around so that, while they were facing the wrong way, all you saw was the backs of amps.
I think that Mike Tate, who's our lighting man, and stage designer, really, came through with the idea of the stage because we weren't sure.
Yeah.
I know Chris was pretty interested. The rest of us weren't sure at all how it would work, and happily we've carried it for a couple of years, and I think we're going to carry it for the rest of the band's career, however long that might be.
You really like it. Yeah, and you were, at one point, it could be said you were stuck with it. I mean, if you didn't like it, it would have been very hard to get out of it. You were into the tour, and that was it, right?
Yeah. I think there's a lot to come out of the idea of a central stage, and it's something that we're still working on.
Yeah.
The music we're playing is music that some of it is designed for a round stage. And I think as we develop into the 80s, that the music we're going to write will naturally be able to be focused on a central stage. And then hopefully, I still have dreams of working in quadraphonic live, because I think that there's a musical area in quadraphonic that is a little bit of magic.
Well, you did that. But we
did it a long time ago.
Yeah, when you were on the proscenium stage or whatever.
Yeah, Eddie Alford, who was working with us then, he was a real innovator in trying to get it working. But there were problems with the quadraphonic manufacturers. They couldn't decide on the right kind of system.
Yeah.
And so it was shelved.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame because the sooner Sony and Panasonic and all these characters could decide on a nice little portable quadraphonic system, cheap as well, it's not that more expensive. The sooner they get that together, the better, because I think that's a little bit of the future. I still believe in quad.
Yeah, well, ironically, none of the Yes albums ever were issued in quad during the heyday of the quad records. No.
True.
That was, I guess, a record company political situation.
True.
Yeah. You know what? It's something you guys could do on your own. You got the technical whizzes there to get some maybe next year to do a quad thing, and it would really be amazing in the round because you could have an inner ring and then an outer ring, couldn't you, around the audience?
Yeah.
Oh.
It depends how you go about it. I believe that you've got to write music for that medium. So you got to think about it a little bit more careful than just mix it in quad.
Does that have a people? One of the main questions that people.
Hey, is this a discussion here?
Yes, it is. One of the main questions people ask me to ask you is what goes into the choice of material? Why do you do certain songs as opposed to not doing certain other songs? Is it because of the staging or?
Sometimes, yeah. We played Close to the Edge about a month ago, and it didn't seem to hang together on the center stage. So we did Andrew and I, and we're working on the UFO.
Thank you for dedicating that to me the other night, brother. That was very nice. That was really nice.
It's just one of those things that everybody in the group, as you know, enjoys certain songs, and so we'll put a few in a hat and pick some out. And
it's not that easy.
No, it becomes pretty logic the ones to try.
Right.
Some people might say, why are you doing the same set as last year? We're doing a similar set to last year. 80% of the shows that we're doing in America are new areas that we haven't played before.
Right.
And the other 20% are New York, Chicago, and Philly.
Right.
So we couldn't totally change the show.
Yeah.
Because we were very pleased with last year's show, and we changed a couple of numbers, a couple of ideas here and there. And in a way, it's just a reflection of the 70s, of our music through the 70s.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on,
You're very concerned with the switch from the 70s to the 80s, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't believe it. I don't know what it is.
Because you've said that several times. And, Robert Fripp was here, and he was telling, he has a very detailed plan about the march to 1981, and then where he thinks something very drastic is going to happen, and then downward to 1984. He has this do you have anything as specific as that? Do you think what's going to be happening in the next few years?
No, I just know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be pretty heavy for a lot of people. It's heavy now. I can't believe some of the things that are going on in terms of I don't know. It's something, you can think about, and boat people. I'm so, and so are millions of people just,
We're gonna let me.
Anyway,
let me interrupt for a second. We'll do a couple of commercials, and then we want to talk about this stuff, the music you're doing with Vangelis. Okay?
Okay.
All right, just a moment. John Anderson of Yes, you're on cue. What about the oil shortage here, John?
The oil shortage. Well, it's about time. I think what's happening now is very, very important. The research in NASA and just a little bit more sunlight. It's just a question of getting the solar energy organized.
Right.
And we can, look to oil as a very secondary.
Yeah. How about nuclear
energy?
How about nuclear?
Yeah, nuclear is okay. It's just everybody gets a little bit. Media makes it into such a thing. You see, media is taking over. It's taken over, if you like, but slowly it's taking over. As you said before about Bob Fripp was saying this and that about towards 1984. I just see a very, very opening, marvelous situation coming out in the 80s. But you got to go through a little bit of tremor before it'll come out into the marvelous age that we're approaching.
Yeah. I remember when we first spoke years ago, you were very concerned about, I think the Vietnam War was going on at the time, and you've always been concerned about bad things that are happening in the world. There's always seems to be something bad happening. We haven't gotten to the point where, we're past that.
Yeah, I would think that the more information that can be gathered, via media, the more you get to know. It's like 100 years ago, you didn't find out about all the problems or all the aggravation that was going on. Now you can find out the same day, and you can actually see it on TV in color.
Yeah, and it sort of makes you blasé to it also.
It makes it more immediate, and any kind of major war that might come up in the next few years is going to be seen on TV live.
Unless it's over before.
Well, no. I don't think that kind of thing's gonna. Well, who am I to know? But I'm just saying that I believe that the 80s are going to be the most amazing times for the people who are alive and kicking. Because it's the real time now.
Yeah.
At last we have the real time.
The time is now. Is the word still love?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
One would say.
Did you see certain things for Yes into the 80s? Do you have
very strongly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working just the last couple of months on songs, ideas for the next album, as we all have. Everybody in the band always starts thinking very strong about the next album and how it's going to work out. I have a very high feeling about it. We're not one of these. We don't know what we're going to do. We can't predestine what we're going to put on record.
Right.
Put on a record, whether we're all happy at that point in time, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think we all feel we want to. We want to make an album that everybody will love and everybody will enjoy.
Do you think that would involve another concept album like Topographic, or more on the order of the last?
Not quite on them terms. I think in a couple of years, I think we should try something again on that kind of multi.
Yeah. Could I ask you just briefly how you feel now about Topographic? I know you sort of think you overstepped a little bit, I guess, at that point, but you also know that there's a lot of people that love that.
Yeah,
record,
I mean, I learned so much. Yeah. I really did. From a personal point of view, I learned so much about what the music was entailed and what the idea behind it entailed, and that's why I feel I'm still a surviving and strong energy. I feel like I have a lot to give.
Yeah.
And I think that if I hadn't have been involved in making that album with 6 other guys, with everybody who was concerned, that I wouldn't have reaped the fruits. And I believe I have.
Right.
And I think everybody else in the band believes that same thing. And there's a lot of people who felt the energy that we put in it.
Yeah.
And if it's just a handful of people, isn't that enough? You know.
And even if you don't perform it now, although you did do that little bit last night, which was lovely.
Yeah.
I think that the record exists, and you know that people can go listen to it when they want.
I'd like to try a slightly revised version and make a film of it.
Wow.
With dance and poetry and such.
Yeah.
But that's only something that I'd like to do. It wouldn't take too long, actually, if it was well planned.
Right.
But then, again, it takes a lot of finance to put something like that together, as well as the energy of the group to play the music again. But I think it would be worthwhile.
I think so. Let's talk about this. You have the you did an album with Vangelis now, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Is it going to be a John Anderson LP?
No, it's John and Vangelis, really.
Oh.
It was one of those things that now and then rings.
Right.
One of those songs. Thinking about it, I've known Vangelis now 6 years or 5 years or so. We've been great friends.
He almost joined the band at one point,
is
that right?
I asked him over to London to try and get into the band. He's a very strong-minded person. And he just carried on making records in London. He was very happy to have moved from Paris to London. And we were always seeing each other. And about a year ago, I said, come on, Vangelis, we should make an album. But I said that if we're going to make an album, I don't really want to talk about it, about what it is. I just want it to be spontaneous. So, this is what we did. I just brought a track. As you'll hear, it's Vangelis on keyboards and myself singing. We didn't talk about what key or what idea, and it just comes out as it is. But obviously, I had to revise the lyrically and then re-sing the song.
Is this the finished version?
No, this is just the day after.
Oh, isn't the album? You told me it's finished.
Yeah, he's finishing it now.
Oh, I see.
And it will be out sometime in the autumn.
And it'll be both of your names will be on
Yeah,
there.
it'll be John and Vangelis, I think.
What is it called? What's the album called?
We don't know.
Oh, and does this song have a name?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, here it is.
It was just something to play. You know, I thought I'd bring something down and
see how it sounds. Okay. So this is the world.
Yeah, you can give me
the world premiere here. Okay.
You can give me your marks out of 10.
Okay. No, we like.
No, it was just a lot of fun to make music
like
this without thinking too much.
Well, here it is then on cue. And that is John and Vangelis, a work in progress. It's really lovely, John.
Very dreamy.
Yeah.
I think it was something we did one afternoon. We spent about 2 or 3 afternoons putting things down, and then we put them together and decided that it was an album. This is one of the things that we talked about. We said we're not going to talk about too much about what we were going to do, but if we did anything, it didn't matter whether it was going to be an album or not. It was just a question of making music together.
And this is separate from what you see for Yes as far as the next album, music and so on.
Oh, yeah. This was just done in a 2-week period, about February.
Yeah.
But as I'd say, it's taken me and Vangelis 5 years to make it.
Well, you did a little bit with him on the Heaven and Hell
That's
thing.
true.
Right.
I just, walked in one day and it seems very easy to work with someone like Vangelis. You just perform in that moment and then work it out later.
You haven't done a lot of work with many other musicians, though, have you? I mean, I see.
I'm not easy to work with. I'm really a terror. I'm pretty well known for that, I think.
Beneath that mild manner, you mean?
That mild-mannered, it's just an exterior. I'm a terror.
I see.
I don't know. I've just never been asked. I'd love to work with lots of people.
Really?
But no one has actually come up and said, hey, do you want to do some backing vocals? But maybe I've always been too busy working with Yes, really.
How about...
We've been non-stop for now 10 years.
How about some of the things like Rick did with the orchestra? Did you ever have ideas to do some sort of symphonic thing with an orchestra?
Yeah, they're coming up.
Really?
It just takes a while to get yourself programmed and organised enough to try and attempt something and then achieve it to your own standards.
Yeah.
It's like the reason why I haven't done another solo album isn't because I don't want to. I think it's because I don't feel that I want to do it just yet. I want to make sure that when I attempt something in the future or in the near future, that I've got all my wits about me and I know what I'm doing, rather than just try to bring up another one a year later.
Right.
A couple of years later. I'm not sure that is important.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is if you've got something to say it at the right time, hopefully.
Which goes against some of the things in the music business where you have to have product and you have to have a deadline.
This is a silly situation from a general kind of artist, musician, and the business side of things. There's always this slight problem as to whether you should have product on the road and
we
so on.
We should mention the live album, which Atlantic announced a couple of months ago, and now they're not quite sure. Do you know what the latest is on that, or could you tell us?
Not really, because we've sifted through the music that we've mixed. Chris and Nigel did most of the mixing of some tracks.
Right.
And we've yet to sit down and listen to the final pressing. And it's all kind of in the air.
Right.
But
I get the feeling you're not convinced that you really need to put out a live album at this point, are you?
Well, it would be nice to put one out either this year or next year, because I think the last couple of years' stage work is kind of announcing, oh, you should get an album of this show out, you know.
Right.
And all I can think about is that it's good to play music on stage and do your show and not worry whether the album's out or it's being played on the radio.
Right.
I think a group of musicians essentially is guys that get up and play. It's not the guys that go out and try to make the hit record. This is the betwixt situation that you can get. I think we fell into it, and I'm happy about it because it makes something more of the musician.
Yeah. Well, it also gives
and not something less of the business, but it also it makes the balance a little bit better.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have a hit album to draw crowds.
Most people do. You don't.
Well,
strangely.
we're lucky.
Yeah.
But
why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Oh.
I would like to think that we're not just the odd group that does that. I think there are a lot of groups that can just go and play without even having an album. But maybe they're put under pressure by maybe people around them too. Oh, you got to get a hit single before you can go out and play to them. Forgetting that they have talent.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just...
No, I think you're right.
Now,
but you've withstood that whatever pressure there is on you to do that, to make those...
And I think, personally, I think that I admire the business a bit more by being in the situation of having found myself to be able to relax with everybody in the group like we have, and just said, well, let's just go out and play.
Yeah.
I think that's just fine, you know.
And the agents and the managers scratch their heads and say, I don't understand these people.
What's happening here?
Yeah, they're just weird guys. They just like to play and go out. But the people, love to come to see you, and that makes it worthwhile.
That's the thing.
Tonight the show is at 7:30, by the way.
True, it's an early show tonight, so I've got to go now.
You've got to go, and thanks again, John. I really do appreciate you dropping by.
Pleasure.
You don't do this real often. And the show...
I'd like to thank everybody in Philadelphia who's been to see the show, and whoever likes the band anyway who didn't make it.
Okay.
But as you said the other day, you're coming to Philly, and I said, yeah. And I really realised what you were saying, because Philadelphia has a certain magic that people like us enjoy.
Yeah. And you did that little bit of topographic, and I know you threw in arriving UFO, especially for Philadelphia, too, to provide a couple of extra little things.
Right.
And that was lovely. John, thanks again. The show's at 7:30. And the soccer game, you were terrific. I'll tell you, you didn't score, but you did run like the devil. I mean, you just were...
No, I scored a penalty.
Oh, that's right. You scored a penalty kick. That's right.
Well, the goalkeeper, I think he just kind of pretended.
No, I don't think so. I think he really gave it a... That's...
No, we're a good team. We haven't played for 9 months now.
Right. Well, Brian told me you used to play for Accrington Standard. Is that right?
No, Stanley.
Stanley.
Well, this is one of the original top the original 11 soccer teams in England.
Yes.
Accrington Stanley was one of them.
Yeah. Did you play for them?
And no, I used to be the ball boy.
Oh,
I used to go running after the ball when it went over the stand. But
so you've loved
playing football. Soccer,
as we call it. Yes.
And I think if we keep the chance to play every couple of weeks, we'll get back into our good form, and we can play when we get going.
You think you might play here again? Soccer, that is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll look forward to it.
I think we might just come on tour playing soccer.
And just have a little music going at the concert, at the game. You could play at halftime. You could get up and play. You know, it would be fun. It was a really nice day yesterday. Really enjoyed.
My legs have gone.
Well,
I woke up this morning. I couldn't move my legs.
But you did a great show last night. I mean, last night's show was like one of the best ever. I think.
So.
I think.
It was a very high audience.
Yes, and very high band.
Yeah, we were with everybody else, I think.
Thank you, John.
That was good. Thanks so
much. I'm going to
much.
do Circus of Heaven, which I know you love, and you do in the show. Your son.
Oh, my little boy Damien
has a part in that. I guess you'll be seeing him soon. You get off the road.
Yeah, we're going to get a band together. He's a violin player.
Really?
But he likes drumming.
How old is he now?
He's 6.
So we'll look for some
and
collaboration.
Deborah, she plays very good keyboard.
Your little girl, right?
Yeah, she's...
and it's your wife Jenny's birthday today. We must wish her happy
birthday, Jenny, yeah.
Yes, and she's here in Philadelphia.
True.
She'll be going home, I guess, soon. But thanks again, John. I know you have to run, and our best to the rest of the band. I know Steve was going to make it, but he had some things to take care of, so he didn't.
I think he was rushing around like a whirlwind when I saw him.
So he won't be able to be with us, but we thank you, and best of luck with that solo album. We're looking for that too. Circus of Heaven, John Anderson, and yes, on cue.